They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They my chat with the shit. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got Rodgers on the scopes. Now don't get slacked out the line.
Me is not on me. Now tell me, what do you see?
We send them out to the nation. LIB and I, we in the sky with this shit. Just think it
Let me teach you how to vibe.
1% gameplay, 100% vibe. Don't bring that bullshit my way. Try your luck.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
When you fuck, you gon' think I'm Mike Crable the way I make them tighten up. You'll be lucky if you even score. You should read more, though I choose to live in peace. You should know I bleed war. I'm a recon man, one of the best in the sport. I keep a drone on my hip, I let it out to explore. They say the ops on the way. I see one, I know it's more. They just ran inside the building, my EMP on the floor. Make them panic, play support. Crypto going manic, they tryna figure out how I do assault damage. Real just mark the surroundings, I know they can't stand it. Morosky sending out his ghost and they don't understand it. I'm headed to the high grounds to get an overstanding. Now you from a distance, see your partners, they just left you stranded. Damn, you know you headed to the lobby, right? Sorry for your awful fight, I admit it was easy. Get you some practice, or you always die. I know you doing that ping thing, they gone, made it out of sniper range. Level 1 knockdown shield, been 7 minutes in the fucking game, I'm devoted. Hit you with the devotion, hear it wind up, quick motion. Now I'm headed with the wind to your partners, but I'm focused. See, Goat just hit that beast on the hunt. Ghosts is ghosts, we reloaded, blow the EMP and we done.
They know I got them vibes, so you know them fans watching me.
They my chat with the shit. Oh, they must think they can stop me. See, we got Rodgers on the scopes. Now don't get slacked out the line.
Me is not on me. Now tell me, what do you see?
We send them out to the nation. LIB in our blood. We in the sky with this shit. Just think it came out the mud.
Yo, KT2 the GOAT. She, Mr. 52, lock kick, #1 shoe plug in the city now. T Brown, Michael W. Let's get it now. Where we at? Everybody on Facebook, like, comment, share, tap into the daily content. Becker on the purple, man.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
You're watching on Twitch, Amazon Prime. Once a month, you can sub to the channel. Free, it costs you nothing. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that back in his pocket. If you're watching on the green, no ads, picture in picture, up to 50 emotes. All you gotta do is be a follower. You do not have to be subscribed to the channel financially to use those. Tap in with the content, daily live streams. Who we got over there? Mr. Bad Take Sheet tapping in on 2 platforms, Kicks Wheel, Nano, Statman, Extrovert in the building. Get into y'all comments in just a second. Who we got on YouTube? Dre Day in the building. If you're watching on YouTube, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time every morning. Shop Talk Podcast go up. If you need to watch it back, you got picture in picture. Tap in, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. We almost partnered on YouTube. And I need y'all, if y'all got any questions, drop them in the YouTube comments. I will make an entire video dedicated to your questions. Extrovert said McCarthy already ruined Rodgers and he ain't gonna do any better this time around. What a horrible idea. Rodgers probably gonna retire after this nonsense.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Extrovert coming in hot. CCB. New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game tomorrow minus Bo Nix. I know you are excited tonight. He say, where the lights at? Man, listen. Hey, listen. Somebody drop a Fed stick in the chat. Dre Day is on top of everything I be on. I can't slide nothing past y'all OGs. Here I am making changes in the stream room, changing the lights and stuff. I ain't got everything in to show y'all. And here you go, noticing the things that I changed, man. Come on, we under construction. D Ford in the building, TJ. See, I really need to change my name on Kick, Nick Wilson. All right, man. Hope everybody having a blessed day. Trying to catch up to the comments and the people reacting to the stream. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and that follow. Jane C, what up? All right, let's get into the topic of today in the shop. Let me hit that coffee. Let me see if the coffee hidden. Yeah, coffee hidden. Mike McCarthy to the Steelers. Now look, I need the crystal balls right now because I'm finna go in for a second. I need the crystal balls right now. Drop them crystal balls in the chat because I'm finna go in for a second. Now last year, there was some certain content creator that has a crystal ball that said this could be the worst thing ever for Mike Tomlin. A guy that's went 2 decades without having a losing season.
Let me teach you how to vibe.
Aaron Rodgers, who didn't get along with Robert Saleh in New York, pushed him away, not doing the Aaron Rodgers thing, the arrogant thing that he do. I said, I think it'd be a mistake. They should go with a young guy, groom, star for the future. They haven't groomed a young quarterback successfully since Big Ben. That's a long time for a legendary franchise that hasn't even had a handful of coaches in the team's history. Now you sent Aaron Rodgers for 1 season, and what did I say? If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers and they get no further than Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, this is going to be a mistake because it's going to put so much pressure that Mike Tomlin steps down. Do they go get Kubiak? Do they go get Chris Shula? Do they bring in Brian Flores? Do they get any of the young gun coaches that's out here? No. What do we have? Another coach that has less energy and is old as Mike Tomlin with the same exact credentials, a Super Bowl from yesteryear. Some kind of way this guy's got a rabbit foot or he's got naked pictures of somebody's old lady. This man has coached the Packers, the Dallas Cowboys, and now the Pittsburgh. Like, if you was just going around and saying, like, give me the most legendary franchises in the NFL since the merger, he gets to coach all of them in some kind of way.
Teach you how to vibe.
Instead of going young, what does this scream? The Pittsburgh Steelers come right out and make a statement. This in no way has anything to do with Mike Tomlin stepping down. It has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers. And we all know Will Howard didn't get any reps this season. They had Mason Rudolph when they had the chance to play somebody else. When they could have played Will Howard, they played Mason Rudolph, which we all know what Mason Rudolph is, especially a Tennessee Titan fan knows what Mason Rudolph is. So what do? You don't have a high draft pick because the Ravens missed the field goal and you made the playoffs. Now you picking at the back of the first round. Dante decides to go back to school. Mendoza's going to the Raiders. The free agent quarterback pool is super thin, and you're going to be betting the farm on Ty Simpson or Trinidad Chambliss, who's trying to go back to college. Carson Beck? No. So what are they going to do? They're going to call up old man 42 on his sabbatical, hide in the forest somewhere, and bring him back for year 43 for Aaron Rodgers to come back and do the discount double check in Pittsburgh again with an aging roster. That if ever there was a year, right? Pittsburgh Steelers win a decade without winning a playoff game. Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes out of the way. And what happens? They don't get there. They get the same thing, one and done. And now you think next year with the Chiefs reloading with a healthy Patrick Mahomes, you're going to get a healthy Lamar Jackson back that's going to be hungry. And then you're going to get a Joe Burrow back healthy. And then Josh Allen's going to be madder than a Hornet, along with the other teams that are up and coming, like the Jaguars, the Houston Texans, the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots, all these teams coming back. And some of these other teams that are going to obviously going to turn it around. Some of these teams are not going to stay at the bottom. They're going to have an upswing in some kind of way. Even the Cleveland Browns with Shador, depending on who they get at coach. You know what Myles Garrett is on that defensive side of the ball. Browns have 2 first-round picks this upcoming draft. A year older, what can the Pittsburgh Steelers possibly do with Mike McCarthy and an aging Aaron Rodgers, who they claim had nothing to do with Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers coming in after Mike Tomlin stepped down? Sure, we're all stupid. We believe it. Because I don't understand that they're just getting older and older, and all the teams around them are getting younger and younger, and they're in trouble, man. They in trouble. Now I had to get through that spiel because I'm like the old school Jim Rome. I'm burning right now, so let me get back into y'all. This is not Starbucks. Do I need to make a short? This is my wife's cup, and I tell her to save all the cups and rinse them out. And then I make coffee at home. Y'all know I like the medium roast with no sugar, with the sugar-free creamer. And I just dab it a little bit, swish it around, and that's what I drink. So you think I'm drinking Starbucks. I'm drinking Buddha Bucks. You feel me? Man, I ain't got $7 to be giving them. All right, let's get into it. KT2 obviously is a federal agent. He said he was about to ask about the lights. He was about to ask about the shots with the whipped cream and all those federal things. Sandusky in the shower. I know KT2 was about to ask a bunch of federal questions. Said McCarthy got something on the commissioner. Yeah, Roger Goodell is over there shaking in his boots. TJ say I'm speechless. They give Will Howard a chance. That was my thought, was they should have gave Will Howard a chance when Aaron Rodgers missed those few games and they played Mason Rudolph. They should have gave Will Howard a shot to see what he's got. You know what you got in Mason Rudolph. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like this is a guy that lost out a job to Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. I don't ever expect, like, Will Levis was clear head and shoulders above better than Mason Rudolph. What happened to that dude? Do y'all remember the dude that used to be in the comments? There's always glazing Mason Rudolph, saying that Mason Rudolph just never got a chance. So after our shop talk, I did not think I'd be more confident in our next head coach than Pittsburgh. Crazy how different things can change in just 48. Sometimes you think that's how God works. Sometimes you think you being left out. You think you being done wrong. But sometimes God is just moving you out the way of a freight train or a bullet, this poison arrow that's meant for you, that you get avoided when you duck in your head because you didn't get what you want and realize the shot go right over your head. It's no grassy knoll. You feel me? Pittsburgh could have kept Kenny and draft Howard and not try him out. To me, like the Colts, like they had Anthony Richardson, he got hurt. And then Danny Dimes has the Achilles and the broken bone. And then they played Riley Leonard some. Like looking back on it, they're probably gonna say it was a mistake to call Phillip Rivers up, even though Phillip Rivers played well. They didn't win, and your young quarterback didn't get any reps, so you really still don't know what you got outside of watching practice. At least if you're gonna go from 8-1 to not making the playoffs, if you're the Colts, like you would at least like to see what you had in Riley Leonard for a bigger sample size. Arthur Smith expected to become the next OC at Ohio State. Yeah, he's trying to go get that guarantee bag. He tired of the pressure, and I don't think he got enough looks at head coach for him to want to stick around and be somebody's OC and still not get good head coaching shots. He said, yo, Patrick Mahomes definitely be back next year, madder than a Hornet. Steelers should name him interim coach. We go 9-8, but make some money. It was easy for him to choose the Steelers because his parents lived there. But I mean, since we giving coaches jobs because of convenience to them to family. Like we just seen Diggs get cut off. Diggs wanted to go hang out during the Christmas break, and they said no. I don't understand the recycle coaches. The recycle coach, in one sense, I understand. If the coach like gets fired and sits out a year and comes back, I understand. Like Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel went to Cleveland and was an advisor and sat out and then went to New England, right? Those I understand. Like if Mike Tomlin sat out a year and came back next year, I understand. But Kevin Stefanski getting the job directly in Atlanta is just silly. Like people can say whatever they want to say about that situation and how I feel about Stefanski. People are glazing Stefanski, saying that if Cleveland fires him, we should hire him in Nashville, until they seen him get hired in Atlanta. And the first thing he did is hire the Callahans back. And then every Tennessee Titan felt dumb because you've been clamoring for Stefanski to get hired, and then the first thing he does is hire the Callahans. Like, bro, you couldn't be possibly further away from what you want to be away from. So he just went from a situation from a team that had 8 quarterbacks under contract to a team that's got a 40-year-old quarterback that's got a $90 million contract and a top 10 pick that can't stay healthy. So he went from one situation where he got decisions to make at quarterback to another situation where he got decisions to make at quarterback. So I don't understand somebody dying to hire Stefanski. Like, what has Stefanski done that Daboll hasn't done, or McDaniel? Like, if I was gonna give a retread, I would have went Kingsbury, I would have went McDaniel, I would have went Daboll. Like, Stefanski, like, bro, I guess, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and his personality doesn't even fit in Atlanta anyways. Him and Matt Ryan, I don't know what they got going on over there. Dominic Rudolph had a chance in the after game. Clock clean his own helmet. He just looked scared every snap. I mean, I watched him in Tennessee, and people dog Will Levis because Will Levis had a lot of turnovers and unforced errors. And then Mason Rudolph was the same exact thing. If you go back and look at it, like, per snap, like, Mason Rudolph had just as many fumbles and interceptions as Will Levis did. So, like, combined, Will Levis and Mason Rudolph led the league in turnovers at the QB position. And the year before that, the Browns was number 2. So we picked 1 and the Browns picked 2 in the year where Mason Rudolph and Will Levis had the most turnovers at QB to the Browns having the second most. We picked 1 and 2. Guess who had the most turnovers this year as a QB? It was Geno Smith. And wow, lo and behold, Shotbybuddha's got the crystal ball. The Raiders are picking 1. If your quarterback has more turnovers than any other person at the quarterback position in the NFL, I guarantee you're going to pick at the top of the draft. Like, it's almost hand in hand. The quarterback who turns the ball over, you know, like, what does Mason Rudolph got? Does he got wheels? Can he run? You know, like, is he got some laser arm and decision making? No. He said, does Chris Shula just stay in LA now that most likely the job he was linked to was just hire McCarthy? I don't know I don't know that the Bills or the Browns or some of the teams that haven't picked a coach are not waiting on Kubiak and Shula. You know, because I mean, look at last year. The Saints sat around and waited for Kellen Moore to win the Super Bowl, and they hired Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore looks like he's turned the Saints offense around second half of the season, even with Shaheed getting traded to the Seahawks and then them shuffling a bunch of different running backs in. I don't like how he treated Shador, and I didn't want him near Cam at all. Yeah, I mean, the whole situation is like the Tennessee Titans wanted a leader of being. They wanted somebody decisive, and he's not it. I mean, when you look at like one of the only teams that we beat and we outcoached them that game, like I'm good on that. Like, bro, if you can't out scheme Bo Hardegree and Mike McCoy, bro, you don't need to be the Titans' next head coach. He said when your completions are close to your turnovers, it's gonna be a short stint. I'm telling you, Nick, let me go hold the clipboard and do and lead the exercise line at practice so I can get paid. He said, love the new lighting. This is actually not new lighting. I actually am in the process of renovating my stream room. So like, this is like, if the lady would have answered my message today, I was about to go pick up a new desk, and but she didn't answer. So I got like half of the stuff I need to get. I just don't. Only light I got is behind the TV. So like this is probably the end of y'all seeing this camera angle. From like in the future, it will be looking straight back to that TV. So that like I'm kind of rotating like a 45 degrees to the right, if that makes sense. I got an L-shaped desk now. I'm in the corner. I'm gonna be in a long tabletop desk. Hey, look, that's funny because y'all some OGs. Y'all be knowing when I change anything, bro. Hey, bro, I swear I could change up my mustache. Y'all be on my neck. Never thought I'd say I'd miss Kellen Moore. And that's the thing, though, Meeks, is like, when people talk about coaches being retreads and getting second opportunities, like Kellen Moore showed just how important he was to the Eagles offense, and that play calling and his understanding of how to get everybody to football and keep everybody involved. Like, that's a lot of pressure coming off of a Super Bowl. A running back just had arguably the greatest year a running back has ever had in the NFL. And then you got two number one receivers in Devontae and AJ Brown. And, you know, trying to find a way to keep all of them involved and keep them happy is not an easy job, especially like when what they do so well is just slow grinding teams. It makes every possession more important when you play in the game slow like they do, which is less possession. So like when you get in the red zone and don't score, or you get across the 50 and get stopped, or you have a bad call on fourth down when you go for it outside of the tush push, it kind of makes it kind of puts the pressure on that OC. I think that might be why some of the OCs that we thought was going to take head coaching jobs are just staying OCs or waiting their turn. Because if you go to Baltimore, the pressure's on. You go to Buffalo, the pressure's on. Like some of these teams that like Pittsburgh, the pressure's on. Like wherever you go in some of these situations to take a job, you're not taking the job where you got time to wait. You know, that's why I think that's why Robert Saleh took the Titans is, you know, if you're going to go somewhere with less pressure, you're going to go to Arizona next, or you're going to go to Tennessee. It's less pressure in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? It's less pressure and you got a more clean slate. You know, you take Buffalo or Baltimore, you're expected to make the playoffs next year. And you're expected to win games when you get there. You're not like, it could be a situation where some coaches are going to take these teams and make the playoffs, and then still people are not going to be satisfied. Like if Mike McCarthy gets to the Steelers and they don't make the playoffs, it's an indictment. If they get to the playoffs and one and done again, you're going to say like, why pressure Tomlin out to get another old coach and bring in Aaron Rodgers back? Like you're going to be one more year removed from grooming a young quarterback. Love L-Shape. I used to love him. I want a flat 5 or 6
Let me
foot,
teach
just
you how to vibe.
just long panel flat top. You know, I'm done with the L shape. It just give me more space in this room. Kellen Moore is the X's and O's guy. Sirianni is a CEO type head coach. Players love him, but the play calling is impossible. Yep. Big Jeffrey Dub. Some X's and O's guys can't do personnel management and play calling. Man, Brian Callahan was just completely overwhelmed.
Let me teach you how to
Like,
vibe.
he's completely overwhelmed. Like, my mans didn't even know when he was supposed to call a timeout or not. You know, you got to be like some level of overwhelming and incompetent when Mike McCoy comes in and like gets more out of the Titans than he could. Rabbit, what up? He said what Ben Johnson did with the Bears. He waited. Yeah, wait till you get an opportunity you comfortable with. Some of these teams fired their coaches way too soon. Give me your list of them. I'm gonna say like running off Tomlin and like the Ravens pushing Harbaugh out. I just thought those two didn't make sense. Like that one of them was coming down to an extra point being missed, or one of them come down to a field goal being missed. Like that. Those are your reasonings behind like letting go of long tenured coaches. I thought McDermott in Buffalo, I thought that's crazy. Like if they're in Buffalo, the Buffalo referees probably call that Brandon Cooks catch a catch, and it's not enough evidence to overturn, right? The Buffalo Bills is still playing. He didn't, and now McDermott is out after a decade. Like I think in some of those situations, like it just didn't make sense. Now Stefanski in Cleveland, it's time. You know, Callahan in Tennessee, it's time. You know, the situation with Gannon in Arizona, you know, with the DeMarcado punching a player and the whole Kyler Murray situation, not wanting to move on from certain coordinators, like those type of things can be a situation where you want to move on from. But some of these teams, they just moved on at the wrong time. They just honestly did. Ravens, Bills, Niners, so unlucky in playoffs. I ain't even going to say they unlucky. I say like the 49ers was lucky to get as far as they did with all their injuries. I mean, they already was losing Hufanga, Greenlaw, Charvarius Ward, Ayuk, Debo Samuels. Like, if you go down and look at their starter list, all the players they lost, and then you get in the season and Purdy go down, George Kittle go down, Pearsall go down. Like, they was just going down. Like, for them to even do what they did was really incredible, honestly. Like, they kind of overachieved this year, given the circumstances, because most teams, if they have those type of injuries, is nowhere near the playoffs. Like, look at the Commanders. Commanders went from NFC Championship to picking top 5 by having those type of injuries. Like, everybody ain't built for that. So, like, Shanahan should be up for like coach of the year for what he was able to get out of that roster. Buffalo Bills is like, they play with fire, man. Like, they just got in and turned the ball over. And people talk about Josh Allen's, but I mean, like, you have James Cook, who led the league in rushing, fumbles in the first half. Josh Allen is having fumbles. Like, it just, sometimes it just ain't your time. Like, the stars align for the Buffalo Bills to make a run, and then they just drop the ball. Ravens situation, you know, you have probably one of the greatest kickers in the history of football have some off the field issues with Justin Tucker. You drafted a new kicker in Tyler Loop, and then the dude comes out and misses a chip shot that would have sent you to the playoffs after, you know, Lamar Jackson misses almost 2 months of football. Coupling it in with your all-time leading catcher in Andrews dropping the pass the year before, it just seemed as if, like, if it ain't your time, it ain't your time with those 3 teams specifically. He said Ayuk don't want to play for them. He's welcome. I don't want Ayuk. Why would you want Ayuk? You got a guy you got a receiver that fought to get $100 million contract, and this dude is having a falling out with his team, who made the playoffs again without him because he didn't want to wear black shorts to practice, bro. Like, there's no chance I want Ayuk in Nashville. Why? Like, you got Coker, you got Horn, you got Liggett, and you got Tetroa McMillan and Jatavian Sanders. You got Chuba Hubbard, and you could bring Rico Dowdle. Why in the hell would you want Brandon Ayuk on your team? That's gotta, like, that's a horrible take, though, Rabbit. Like,
Let me teach you how
why
to
on
bow.
earth would you want a headache like that on your team? Why? Why would you want a $100 million receiver that don't play for his team because he don't want to wear black shorts to practice? You just drafted, like, home run to Troy McMillan. Liggett has underwhelmed, but then Coker winds up being a super steal, and then you got Jimmy Horn. Like, you got a bunch of young goons at receiver. Like, there's no chance I'd be bringing Brandon Ayuk in. You see, I always say, yeah, I mean, the team that got the most available players is always the most dangerous team in the playoffs. Like, teams get hot and healthy at the right time, you could take off and make a run. Ravens, Bills, Steelers, always, they unnecessarily blew up your foundation. The problem with the Steelers is, I said it before the season, and I fought with so many Steeler fans, and y'all see them same Steeler fans be MIA in the chat now because they knew I was right. When you go with an old QB like that, and you don't have a game plan for the future, you're setting yourself up to say, ever since Big Ben got to Pittsburgh, they haven't been able to successfully groom a QB. And at some point, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You got to take the duct tape off the boat and say they're going to draft a QB and develop him. And they just haven't done it. You know, so it's like every year you keep taking these old players and recycling them. You go from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers to bring in Mike McCarthy to Aaron Rodgers again. Like, you're just getting older and older and older and older to the point that you're going to be so old, like you aged yourself out of the windows. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they can't make it through an 18 game season if all your players are over 30. I can't unsee the sad clown picture after Buddha said that about Ayuk. Yeah, his actual face looked like the sad clown. No disrespect. He said, pretty sure the Eagles' average age is younger than. I mean, I do y'all see any Steelers? Like, bro, the Steelers fans just like poof be gone, like because I you got to get younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you're gonna do it, proof of concept is the Seattle Seahawks. Pete Carroll got old. It's time to move on. He's a legendary coach, Hall of Fame coach. Go to the Raiders. Y'all see how that happened, right? You see what happened with Pete Carroll. Maybe his time has passed. They let Tyler Lockett go to Tennessee. You see how that worked out. They sent DK Metcalf over to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gave him $150 million. And you see how that worked out. George Pickens outperformed DK Metcalf after they traded him, right? So you bring in JSN, you bring Cooper Kupp, you bring in Shaheed, you bring in Horton, you got AJ Barner, you get Arroyo, K9 comes back, Charbonnet. You bring in all this young talent, and then Sam Darnold comes in with a new defensive coach and a new young offensive coordinator. And what do you get? Number 1 seed in 1 year from going young and starting over with new energy to rebuild your team, not by getting old players, old coaches, old mentalities. You do it by proof of concept of getting younger. There's a dumb move by the Steelers. I love the Titans' young wide receiver core. You can run with them if you draft or sign wide receiver 1. So sad it really didn't work out. I mean, there's 2 shots. I mean, there's Romeo Doubs and there's Alec Pierce. And then there's a gob of receivers that's going to go in the first 3 rounds from obviously Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, KC Concepcion, Chris Bell, Denzel Boston, Jeremy Bernard, Chris Brazel, Zachariah Branch, like, bro, Jacoby Lane. It's gonna be a bunch of receivers. You know, the Indiana guys, Cooper, Surratt. You can have a lot of receivers that's gonna come out in the first 100 picks. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in my mind, if you the Titans, go defense and then pick 2 of those with your other 2 top 100 picks and a defensive back. You know what I'm saying? Just call it a day. The first 4 picks they got in top 100 need to be edge, receiver, cornerback, wide receiver, and just run with a bunch of young receivers like the Panthers did. You know, Panthers got a bunch of young guys. You know, Seahawks got a bunch of young guys. Like, get some of these young dudes. Even though Mike Williams and Godwin got hurt for the Bucks, Tez and Igbuka wound up carrying for them all season. Like, they performed. Like, just go with young guys and grow with your young guys, because if not, you Tennessee Titans, you're going to pay a bad team tax. You're going to wind up spending $20-25 million for Romeo Doubs and Alec Pierce, guys who aren't number 1s on the team that they own now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not Michael Pittman Jr. or Christian Watson. Like, you getting a secondary guy anyways. Sam Darnold gonna choke this weekend. I don't know. I mean, I like their defense and I like the way that they run their offense. I like the Rams better because I picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl this year. But I mean, the Seahawks defense is mean, and the way that they run their offense, I like it. Cam for sure needs weapons. McCarthy is who I wanted in Nashville. Why is this like this? Like, all right, let me back up. This is the Tennessee Titan fan base. We need a leader of men. We need somebody that can control the 53. That's gonna get accountability and get some fire and bring some aggressiveness to Tennessee. Then you hire Robert Saleh when you could have got stuck with Stefanski so you could hire the Callahans back, or you'd have got Matt Nagy, who nobody wants. And then it's like being enamored with McCarthy when all the rumors that came out of the McCarthy interviews was he's too old school and he didn't have any young energy, which meaning he's going to have some old coaches that come with him and some old mentalities. Like Tennessee Titans got exactly what they needed. Somebody that's gonna be aggressive. Tennessee Titans gonna play defense and run the football, let Cam Ward make plays. They just got to get him some better playmakers around him. That is exactly what we need. Now, if the Bills pass on Daboll and Daboll is the OC in Nashville, like I can't be convinced that Mike McCarthy and Kevin Stefanski is gonna run some offense that's gonna be better than what Brian Daboll can do. I'm sorry. That's just my thought. Like I don't understand why like this guy's coach for the Packers. He's coached for the Cowboys, two legendary franchises that's gonna be on prime time. He's won a Super Bowl. He has no hunger in him to want to come rebuild the Tennessee Titans at 63 years old. Give me somebody young with some sauce, bro. I don't want no old ass coach. I like Tajay, but he's not a sustaining back. Nah, I mean, they got some decisions to make at the running back position. I mean, Tajay was a top 100 pick. Tony Pollard is due $9 million this year. They can save $7 million if they cut him in E2. You know, Khalil Mullins was good in short yardage, but you didn't see enough of him. Obviously, Julius Chestnut is probably not going to be on the active roster. He might be on a practice squad, a guy that can elevate and get the job done running the ball and in special teams. But, you know, Titans got a decision to make if they want to go after a free agent running back, or, in my opinion, this is what I think. Y'all can tell me, y'all can mirror me back. You're going to get Tony Pollard on his contract year. You're going to get Tajay Spears on his contract year. You're going to get a healthy Khalil Mullins that missed 75% of the season last year. Go draft Jamari Taylor, Henry from UTSA, Nick Singleton. Give me one of them late round hungry running backs that's super productive and put them in the mix and just chill. Let them boys run for their life the first half of the season. And because Tennessee was like a top 5 rushing offense the last quarter of the season once the offensive line got healthy and Mike McCoy decided they was going to run the football. So I could see that being an opportunity to let them run for their lives the first half of the season. And then draft you a young guy that can step in. Then next year, Tony Pollard and Tajay will be off the books. You'll have a young, productive back with Khalil. And then if you want to go load up after a running back, then go ahead, be my guest. McDonald showed the rest of the league what you can do. 10 games his first year, said there wasn't enough, fired his OC, traded Geno, DK, signed Donald, brought in Kubiak, and is one game away from the Super Bowl. And JSN won the receiving crown this year. After people thought they was crazy to get rid of DK and Tyler Lockett at the same time, and then JSN comes in and leads the league in receiving. He said, "Where's Malik Willis going? I love him in Pittsburgh for real." Malik Willis is gonna get him a nice free agent contract. You know, probably a 2-year, $30 million, something like that. I don't know where he would go. You know, he definitely be somebody's bridge. That's trying to make it through grooming. They said we all know tomorrow's Rams Seahawks game is the Super Bowl. It's gonna be a good game for sure. I hate that their Bo Nix is not healthy for the Broncos Patriots game. He said past winning nights, man. Kenneth Walker might have another legacy game. Yeah, Meeks, I'm not excited about. I'm glad I feel like we dodged the bullet not getting Mike McCarthy. I seen some mock drafts with Branch on it. I would love to see him. Dre Day, I'm so sick of people acting like this shit is new. I had Zachariah Branch on my mock draft, him and Chris Brazzell in December. Go check my page, look at the timestamps. I had Bain, Brazzell, and I had Zachariah Branch in the third. And now people is like, oh my God. And who was the cornerbacks I had? Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. And I had, who was my other DB that I liked it? Dalen Everett out of Georgia. Those, bro, it used to be on my mocks, man. Like, I be so sick of people in Titan land. I did some shit 6 months ago, and then they see it and like, oh my God, Zachariah. Like, bro, like, Ben said Zachariah Branch is gonna be just as good as Makai Lemon and Casey Concepcion. You just gonna be able to draft him later. Probably faster than both of them. You go like, bro, people were saying Brazo wasn't it because he went to Tennessee. Just listening to the stigma. Have you watched him route run? The dude is 6'5" and can run 10-yard hitch routes like Nico Collins. Proven quarterback development is what I'm after. I mean, but then if you look at Mike McCarthy, like Aaron Rodgers, like all you got to do is just not mess Aaron Rodgers up. They never won in Dallas with Dak. Dak's last couple years been his best years. Minus McCarthy. You rather the 2036 coach, but it's also the Jets. You got an owner who's asking your quarterback when is he gonna play football when he's standing there with a broken leg and a cast. Like the Jets is a dumpster fire. Sam Darnold left the Jets. Look what happened to Sam Darnold. Geno Smith left the Jets. Look what happened to Geno. Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets and fell off a cliff and went to Pittsburgh and went right back to the playoffs. It's the Jets, bro. Then Saleh, even though he was on the Jets, still had top 5 defenses. Went to San Francisco. You seen what he did with a defense with no stars on it. No Ward, no Hufanga, no Greenlaw, no Bosa, no Fred Warner. Still have a top defense in the league with no talent. Bro, y'all finna see these old ass, bro. When y'all talk about McCarthy like he's some young spring chicken,
Let me teach
just
you
look
how
at
to
what
vibe.
Pete Carroll looked like last year on the Raiders. Bringing in them same old ass coaches like Chip Kelly, arguing with the running back over how he's standing in the backfield. Tennessee needs on fire, man. We don't need nobody who already done won a Super Bowl and coming in with no heat. Mike McCarthy wouldn't have been able to put no fire under this team, bro. He already got a Super Bowl. Like, what is his motivation to rebuild a team to win 3-14 the last 2 years? That's what you gotta think. You gotta think of who gonna come in and coach this team up that went 3-14 the last 2 years. The same way the Patriots went 4-13 2 consecutive years. Then Vrabel got there and look what they got. You need somebody that's gonna come in and kick people ass. Mike McCarthy don't strike me as an ass kicker. So it should sign someone like Derrick Henry. You wouldn't want Breece cutting Pollard, save $7 million. Breece Hall finna get $10 million though. I'd take Breece Hall. Hear me out. I had some mocks where I did. See, if y'all look at my YouTube page, I got this. You can just go back on months and months. I did one where I did a free agency where I picked up Breece Hall. Only thing about that is, like, if you cut Pollard and you bring Breece Hall and he don't stay healthy all year and you pay him, you're gonna be in a situation where you could run Pollard and Tajay in the dirt by the bye week, bro, and draft a running back. Look at the Bears. The Bears brought in Swift and drafted Kyle Monangai, and Monangai would have been 1,000-yard running back in the 7th round if he would have had more carries. Just had given more carries. Like, it's like, look at Woody Marks on the Texans. Woody Marks was solid for them as a pass catcher and a runner. RJ Harvey on the Broncos, like, it's too many young backs you can get a productive running back than spending $10 million on a running back. They said, on NFL draft, where's the running back Love from Notre Dame going? Probably top 10. But the thing about it is, like, the Titans can't afford, in my mind, to go receiver or running back at 4. If the Titans was to trade back and Jeremiah, like, let's say Titans traded from like 4 to 8 or 4 to 9 and Love was sitting there, I wouldn't mind it. But, you know, like, it's going to be a good team like the Chiefs or somebody that's going to wind up getting him. Because it's a lot of good, like, the Rams have 2 first rounders. The Browns got 2 first rounders. The Cowboys got 2 first rounders. The Jets got 2 first rounders. Like, the draft gonna get spicy this year, y'all. I think Jeremiah Love gonna wind up falling on a good team. Malik may end up in Miami, given his relationship with Halfley. The new GM is from Green Bay. Miami is tied. They got their hands tied behind their back. You can't move Tua unless they're gonna eat you're gonna eat $50 million to move Tua. They drafted Quinn Ewers last year. I don't know. I just don't. If I'm the Dolphins, Jeff Halfley just got to see what he can get out of Tua and Quinn Ewers. Because you got to think, the Dolphins that have mass exodus of players, starting with Wilkins, Javon Holland, Jalen Ramsey, Raheem Mostert, Jonnu Smith. Like, bro, they got so many people that left. And then what are you doing with Tyreek Hill? Does Tyreek Hill even want to come back and play football? Mock drafts middle of the season. Yeah, I'm saying I've been doing mock drafts. We've been looking for a coach for 16, 17 weeks. I started doing mocks like way back then because it's nothing else for us to do. Aaron Carey, McCarthy always audible from his calls and through passes on plays that wasn't his. Yo, Robert, what's good? Tighten up. Who will be the OC? Now we losing options. If the Bills don't hire Daboll is the OC. How you feeling about Ted Hurst out of Georgia State? Might be an option if he slips to the third. I still think we can get better. Like, I mean, Nick Singleton, Henry from UTSA, and Jamari Taylor out of Virginia. Those guys are going to be there in the 6th and 7th round. I think that's more of an option that they need to be looking at. I think the Titans got too many holes to be taking running backs high, especially when you got two. Like, I think you got to value that you got 2 running backs on contract years. Like, you know that Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard is gonna be running for their damn life the first half of the season. And you still got Khalil Mullins. Like, you really don't know what you got in Khalil, because you know his injuries kept him out until like three quarters of the season was over by the time he got back on the field. I think he only got back on the field for like the last 3 or 4 games. You know, you talk about a 6'2", 225 running back that you got drafted out of Michigan, who is the bell cow who pushed Donovan out. Donovan was on the cover of College Football, and he got pushed out the way by Khalil Mullins. And Khalil Mullins beat up the Ohio State players after the game. So, you know, you got to see what you got in him too. Q on 50-50 with McCarthy, A-Rod, but I think the run, the offense just need good DC. Steelers not
teach you how to vibe.
rebuild, need good offseason, draft be all right. No, y'all won't. I said this last year. If they go with Aaron Rodgers instead of drafting a young QB and giving some reps, the way they had Mason Rudolph over there, they're just gonna keep putting off trying to build a new face of the franchise. Like, what is the thought that a healthy Mahomes, a healthy Burrow, and a healthy Lamar, with the teams that are already good, coming back even stronger next year, and you getting older and older and older, and what is McCarthy gonna do that Tomlin didn't? Like, I just need to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need to know that the old team that hasn't been able to groom a QB since Big Ben is not gonna just commit to youth and developing a QB for the Steelers' future. Like, it's just gonna keep putting off the inevitable. They say edge or wide receiver just best available. Edge. Now, mind y'all, remember I was talking about Ruben Bain. I said, because like, people like David Bailey and Arvell Reese, but I said Ruben Bain is gonna stop it, gonna give you way more in the run game. Like, you have 2 dudes that's gonna be trying to scream off the edge and getting ran in inside on stretch plays in zone power. And you're like, give me the guy that can stand that offensive tackle up and stop the run too. Did you watch Jeff Simmons on Bussin'? Said he knew the season was over when they lost to the Raiders. Yep. If y'all haven't seen Bussin' with the Boys, that's one of my favorite episodes, because Jeff Simmons was like just keeping it a buck. You know, he's like, he said he told Saleh, like, you gonna be here coaching next year, right? He was saying, like, I mean, imagine him saying that and then that happening. He said DBs in the 2nd and 3rd. Will Lee, Chris Johnson. It's some goons that's gonna be around in them 2nd. Wide receiver and cornerback gonna be lit up 2nd and 3rd round, bro. What style wide receiver is ideal? Catch radius. That's why I like Chris Brazel. I like Zachariah Brents, because the Titans don't have anybody they can screen it to, or they could just send in motion and, you know, throw drags and shit like that too. You know, DK is growing his route tree and he's getting better and better. You But I think, you need your number one got to be a vertical threat with a big catch radius. That's why I like Alec Pierce, Romeo Dobbs. If you're gonna spend money, like Alec Pierce is 6'3" and a burner. Dude had 40 catches for 1,000 yards. 6'3", 200 pounds. Like, you need somebody like that that's gonna go up and go get it. Chris Brazel, is like a George Pickens, a dude that's gonna win his ones, whip routes, the Nico Collins 10-yard stick. Cam needs some of that. Somebody that's gonna go up and go get the football. So in my mind, in my mock, my latest mock, if y'all go check out the YouTube, I drafted Chris Brazel and Zachariah Branch. I put Brazel at the 1, Ayomana at the 2, DK in the slot, and then I brought Zachariah Branch in rotation, and then you got Restrepo, who will be back off the injury, and then you could bring back Bryce Oliver or Van Jefferson for that 6th receiver for special teams, and just a good guy that's gonna be able to step in. Like, Tennessee Titans got to get out of having people who their ceiling is special teams. They need guys who their floor is special teams and their ceiling is 100 yards on Sunday. That's the ideal. So, like, if they got Dobbs or Pierce, I wouldn't be mad. And then, when you look at Chris Bell, Jacoby Lane, Denzel Boston, Chris Brazel, like, even Malachi Fields from Notre Dame is going to be a later round guy. Who knows what Nick Harbor is going to do when people see a 6'5" receiver run a 4.2. So you don't know what the combine is going to do. Like Xavier Worthy, when Xavier Worthy ran there 40 time, it pushed him into the first round. So it's going to be some people that's going to do some freak athlete type of things, like James Pierce Jr. running the sub 4.5 at edge last year, and then being the best edge rusher to come out of the draft. Like, so you don't know what freak athlete is going to show up either in the combine or at Senior Bowl. And I'm glad a lot of players are accepting the Senior Bowl, because you get to see them. That's how we got Jackson Slater, who I think should be our right guard this year, instead of spending a bunch of money chasing after Wyatt Teller or somebody. Like, listen, if they can get in the Senior Bowl and have a bunch of reps against all the first round edges and they hold their own, listen, man, I'm not with spending, having two high paid guards, because I think Peter Skoronski and Jeff Simmons need to get contract extensions now. Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell, best first round draft by GM, both first team All Pro first year. Yeah, that was crazy. I said it when y'all got out. I was like, y'all got 2 of the DBs that like was on everybody's list, and like some kind of way y'all got them both. J Baby, what up? I said Ted Hurst is a wide receiver. I had to go check his tape. Late night when I'm not on Facebook and YouTube, check for my kick and Twitch streams, because we watch a lot of tape on them kick and Twitch streams. So like, if y'all have a player that y'all like on them late nights, we can't do it on Facebook and YouTube for copyright reasons, but we will on late night streams. Make sure y'all follow me on Kick. We will literally pull up somebody's tape and watch their tape. You said Jeff Simmons is so good. What a season. Bain feels like another Jeff Simmons. Nah, to me, Bain seems like Bain is like that that guy that it ain't sexy, but he just showed up. That's why I like him. That's what the Tennessee Titans should be. A bunch of people that ain't sexy, but they get the job done. Out of position card and what? Oh, we got us the cornball over here. Bye, Felicia. Senior Bowl is when you start. I've been researching all year because my team been out the playoffs since the season started. Once they traded Jarvis Brownlee Jr. in week 2, I already knew they didn't care about this season. I seen a post talking about trading Big Jeff again. No. Yo, just ban him. That's probably a Colt fan or a Jaguar or somebody. A Texan fan. That's definitely not a Titan fan. Imagine Titans with a draft like that, though. Defense would be locked. Danico Autry. Yeah, Danico Autry was an overlooked player that people didn't value what he did. But guys like that keep the pressure off of Jeff. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Harold Landrys is the guys that you look up at the end of the year and the guy got 10, 12 sacks. You know, like those are the type of guys you look at. But if y'all want to go check out my draft videos on YouTube, I literally, like, every couple of weeks I'll do a breakdown where I'll do a new free agent pool and I do a new draft. You know, for some of y'all that's new, I can pull it up for y'all if y'all want to see it. Basically, Nashawn Wright of the Bears. I think the Bears DB room is overcrowded. They got a bunch of good DBs. So, like, bring in Nashawn Wright, bring back Darrell Baker. Then you got Marcus Harris in the slot, and then draft two DBs. Then if you want to put like Elam or Amar Davis or somebody on practice squad, go ahead. Just for depth. Next year you're gonna get Xavier Woods back. You're gonna have Kevin Winston Jr. healthy. You're gonna have Monty Hooker. You know, I drafted a safety late. You know, it's just different things like that, like another tight end thrown into the mix. Like, if the Titans don't go after Dobbs or Pierce, I wouldn't mind them taking a real shot at Kyle Pitts or Isaiah Likely to pair with Gunnar Helm, unless they want to go into the draft. It's gonna be some good tight ends in this draft. Joe Royer, Marlon Klein. There's gonna be some later round guys that gonna be very effective. You know, you talk about Marlon Klein, 6'6", 250. You know, pair him on the side and give me some bookend tight ends like the Bears and just dunk. Bears just line up tight ends and just dunk. It said, I'm interested to see how Kevin Winston Jr. develop in this new scheme. Yeah, because last year sucked. I mean, Quandre Diggs walks off. Xavier Woods gets hurt. They throw him in there. And then we so thin at corner. You playing Quandre Diggs and Kevin Winston at slot corner because we don't have any. Like, this just, bro, you can't just get it. We played 17 different defensive backs, like, and it just was not it. You got just guys just playing out of position. I remember the Seahawk game when you got Samuel Womack lined up on JSN and he fell like 5 times and they cut him. Like, they couldn't get back to the facility to cut him fast enough. I mean, you guarding JSN and you fall like 4 times in a game. Like, damn, bro. Like, can you just stand up? Like, just don't fall down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they cut his ass so quick. Oh, here we go. Bro, y'all must be desperate, man. Bro, I'm any of y'all keep coming from trying to send people to Jack Doherty stream. Like, dude, don't nobody on my stream want to see no little kids. Bears took Luther Burden. The Titans was gonna draft Luther Burden, and a lot of Titans wanted Luther Burden. They passed, but they got Femi and Kevin Winston Jr. If Femi and Kevin Winston Jr. are healthy this year, I think they both gonna be some dogs for the Titans. Man, cut before the plane ride, bro. Don't nobody in Unk Stream want to see no little kids. Y'all got any more questions about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Bringing in Mike McCarthy. Telling you, man, y'all might not want to say it. Y'all might not want to admit it. Tennessee Titans dodge a bullet, not hiring Stefanski. Dodge a bullet, not hiring Matt Nagy. And dodge a bullet, not hiring Mike McCarthy. Tennessee Titans got a young, fiery coach. They got exactly what they asked for all year. All year they said they wanted a fiery guy that's going to come in and be a leader of men and hold some accountability. And then lo and behold, they go pick a coach that a lot of the players are excited about and a lot of the fan base is excited about. And now it's, oh, the Titans shouldn't have took a defensive coach. You need an offensive guy. Well, you just had an offensive guy that just ruined Malik Willis, Cam Ward, and Will Levis all in succession. Like, to me, offensive mind, if you was going to try to bring in Kubiak or Joe Brady or somebody, even McDaniel or Cliff Kingsbury, I'll say okay. But that you didn't, I don't want to see Stefanski, Matt Nagy. I mean, Matt Nagy couldn't score points with Mahomes and Stefanski. Like, bro, like this dude could do nothing with 8 different quarterbacks. The fact that he had Dylan Gabriel playing over Shador in the first place, like I was already out on Cuz. Yeah, Femi was starting to, like, Femi is, like, for people that like Arvell Reese, just think of Femi. It took Femi like probably about 3 games before he started figuring it out. But then when he started figuring it out, he started getting tackles for loss, started getting to the quarterback, getting some pressures, getting his hands on the QB. And he's a freak athlete, you know what I'm saying? So I think Femi is gonna do nothing but get better. Nagy is an X's and O's guys and can't CEO. I mean, he's not even calling plays in Kansas City. It would be just like Brian Callahan not calling plays with the Bengals. Like, bro, how hard is it to scheme up Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins? Like, how hard is that to scheme up, bro? Just throw it. You said Winston's hit injury. I think they mismanaged him. You remember, if you was like really following Titans media, they have been saying that the Titans is mismanaging his injury the whole time. Cause just think about it. Like, just hear me out. Start the season off, Khalil Mullins and Tajay Spears go on IR. T. Sweat was supposed to play, said he was ready to play, goes on IR. Kevin Winston took longer to be ready than he was supposed to. It seemed as if like Bryce Oliver got hurt. Was he coming back or was he not coming back? Like, it just seemed like they was mismanaging injuries all year. And with so much change on the roster, even J.C. Latham got hurt the first half against the Broncos, and then they bring him back against the Raiders in a game where it's all this talk about is the coach gonna get fired. So you rush J.C. back in the first game back. He's blocking Max Crosby with no help, and I could tell watching him up until like a few weeks after the bye week, JC's hip was just not ready. Like, you know, you see times where like he plant and just have any movement or be able to do nothing. I think they should have left Oli Udoh in at right tackle for a little bit longer and just let him heal. It seemed like, you know, the way they handle injuries this year in Nashville just seemed off. Stefanski, I like. If he can do decent for an organization like the Browns, I give him a chance somewhere else to make the final decision on him. But I mean, like, he's going to Atlanta. He's going to another situation where they don't know who they want the QB to be. I like Stefanski as an OC, not as a head coach. I don't like if you put a head coach at a podium, make some decisions and stand on it. Every time he got like in front of the podium, he just seemed like, come on, bro. And I could be wrong on Stefanski, but I'm not a fan. Definitely not in Tennessee. He said easiest coordinator position in the NFL is Chiefs OC, maybe Rams. And lo and behold, the Chiefs told you exactly what they thought about Nagy. They like Nagy. Nagy is their boy. They didn't extend him, and then like 24 hours after that, he started taking interviews. The enemy was already the coach. Our guard center tackle were injured and still played, and they were bad. You gotta let people play. You gotta let people heal, bro. Like, cause think about it. Cushenberry went down, and then they put Levin in, and then they rearranged the line and then ran for 200 yards on the Browns. And Myles Garrett didn't get nowhere near the QB, playing a bunch of backups that game. So it's like, bro, offensive line is an attitude. Let them fire off the ball and hit the opponent a couple times. Establish the run, play action. The Tennessee Titans screen game is so bad, so non-existent. The Broncos game where they sent in motion, Cam's backed up on the goal line before half. You got all 3 receivers blocking. Nobody turns around to catch the pass. Like, orbit motion behind the screens to Tyler Lockett. Just dumb stuff, man. Like, Tennessee Titans is an awful screen game. To me, the best thing for offensive line is letting them get downhill early, running the football, get some play action where the QB can get on the move and you can get some pin down blocks, and then running some pre-snap motion and some screens, like to just let them fire off and hit people. You know, like the offensive guard get up to the second level and get to hit a linebacker or a safety or a corner or something. Like let them don't just have them like 45 times a game standing straight up doing a little kickback shit. Like you're gonna get smoked like that. Imagine being 330 pounds and just standing in squat stands and just doing kickbacks trying to stop an edge rusher 45, 50 times. It's not conducive to winning. Sometimes he needs to put his hands in the dirt and just grab his guy across from him in between the numbers on the shoulder pass and just get downhill and block. I'm kind of side-eyeing for the Chiefs wanted to push Nagy on us like they did with Snead. You know what's crazy about that? Veach and Bergonzi sent Snead to the Titans, and then Bergonzi gets hired, and as Snead is unpacking his shit, Bergonzi walks in the door. Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that just fired you is your new boss. Imagine. He said it started snowing. I hope it don't snow. Run blocking as an offensive lineman is way more fun than pass blocking. I know, and like you see the Tennessee Titan offense when they started running the ball after the bye second half. You know, it's like, wow, teams can't pin their ears back. When Cam play actions and he got time, he's throwing laser beams to a bunch of pedestrian wide receivers. But I think A.L. Monitor and DK is gonna get better in year 2. But if they add like a twitchy guy and a dunker, like they're gonna be straight. I do think because Chig, I don't think they can. Chig is gonna get 10 million plus. I don't think they re-sign Chig, even though Chig is an Iron Man. I like Chig. Chig is a move tight end that didn't miss a game in 4 years. I wouldn't have a problem if they brought Chig back. But seeing that the Tennessee Titans tight ends is legitimately always their best pass, like the most productive pass catchers, like Titans might have to keep that in mind, that they need to get another goon at tight end if they're not going to re-sign Chig. Pass blocking sucks so much. It says no winning, you just lose. That's what I'm saying. Like when you got a rookie QB, if your game plan is to let him drop back 45 times a game, you're going to get him killed. I don't care how good the left and right tackle is or how good the center guard triangle is. If you drop back 50 times in the NFL, you're going to get hit. You're going to get beat on some reps. That's why the Patriots is so effective is, man, Drake May is throwing the ball 25 times. He going to bust you for 24 for 21 out of 25, but he's not dropping back throwing it 50 times. Like, Drake May is just going to be efficient on them 25 pass attempts. Because you look at the Titans, first half of the season, like 50% of the passes is behind the line of scrimmage. Like you just putting them in a bad situation. Jeff said the same thing about the run game. Why did it take so long? It took so long because Brian Callahan didn't want to commit to it. And you can see in the post game, he never committed to it. Just think the first like 8-9 weeks, how many 4th and 1s, when I remember, I don't know if it was PK or somebody asked him in the post game, like, do you not have quarterback sneak, the push in the arsenal? Like, do y'all not practice it? Is it not in the playbook? And then in the very next game, they ran it twice and picked up 2 first downs on 4th. You're just thinking like, these guys are so overwhelmed that the first 10 weeks of the season, they didn't think to put quarterback sneak in the playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about the Patriot game, when we had that stretch of home games and the Titans didn't run for like more than 30 or 40 yards, 4 or 5 consecutive games, the Titans went like 21 weeks where the opponent had more rushing yards than them. So if you lose a line of scrimmage up front running the football and you can't stop the run, specifically like the Jonathan Taylor has like 9 touchdowns in 3 games against the Titans. You know, like people is having like career days against the Titans because you duo block Jeffrey Simmons and then you just dare somebody else to tackle you. So y'all lose if Hurts throws the ball over 30 times. But y'all best player is Saquon Barkley. Like y'all will have games where like Saquon just don't get the touches. It's like the Niners. Like McCaffrey is gonna touch the football.
Let me teach you
if
how to
McCaffrey don't touch the football, the 49ers are gonna get beat. But like running the ball is a mentality, it's an attitude, and it's a want to. And if you don't have elite pass blockers on at tackles, the best thing for you to do is run the football. So just think, all the teams that turned it around quick, the Broncos can run the football. Like they won an NFL game when Bo Nix had 50-yard passing. They had Javonte Williams and whatchamacallit, I think it was, who was it last year? JK? Forgot who they had with Javonte. You know, you look at the Bears. What did the Bears do? The Bears run the football. Swift and Monungai run the ball. Like you look at the Jaguars, ETN and Basil Tootin, you know, run the football. And you just go down the line. You know, the Patriots didn't give up I don't think the Patriots let somebody run for more than 50 yards for like the first 12 or 13 weeks. In the emergence of Travion Henderson and Ramondre Steven, even with Gibson out, like they still ran the football. All the teams that turn it around, the Seahawks, K9s, Charbonnet, like they can run the football, and they do run the football, and they establish the run, and they make you stop it. And what does it do? It lets your defense rest. It gives you time of possession. It lets the offensive linemen tee up, and then when you start play action, when teams, you get cheap passes to the tight ends, and you don't gotta have Jamar Chase at receiver or Jay Jettis if you can run the football. You know, an average guy can get open when the safety got his eyes in the backfield. Hey, meaning that they ran well against some quality defenses. Like the first big game was against the Browns, and Myles Garrett barely even touched Cam Ward. You know, you go down that stretch, like they was able to run the football. But I mean, don't y'all think that's like part of a formula? Rookie quarterback, a team that could play defense and run the football should be like the baseline. You know what I'm saying? Like who gets a rookie quarterback, has the left tackle that gave up the most sacks in football the year before, and then have a right tackle that started the year missing the first 6 weeks with injury, playing Ojukwu and Oliudo, shuffling them in, and says we're gonna throw it 50 times a game with a rookie quarterback with no receivers, and we can't run the football. Even though you got a top 100 pick at running back and another running back that's due $9 million next year. Makes no sense. Who will be on the next Madden cover? Sam Darnold or Matt Stafford? They're probably gonna put Drake May on the front. Good thing we don't see orbit motion again. I hated it so bad. I mean, go back to the Texans game. We ran a flea flicker in a double reverse orbit motion throwback pass, and if you go back and watch the tape, Daniil Hunter beat his man and just stood next to Cam Ward and was daring him to throw the ball, and Tim DK pump faked and just ran out of bounds for like a 4-yard loss. Like those orbit motion fake screen handoffs where like the backside tackle is expected to block an edge rusher for like 8 seconds while the play develops. Like it's so stupid, man. Orbit motion plays for the Titans this past year was atrocious. Go get Ayuk. Why in the hell would you go get Ayuk? Robert Saleh was just in San Francisco. He had a $100 million receiver whose team miraculously made a great run with all the injuries, and this dude didn't play because he wanted to wear red shorts to practice and not black. Why in the hell would they want that in Nashville? 3 Mike Vrabel keys is turnover, battle, run game, and QBR. You had 2 out of 3 to win the game. I think the Titans should do what the Panthers did. Just draft all your receivers. Forget trying to get old guys, because old free agent receivers is gonna plague us. I mean, Calvin Ridley's getting $28 million next year because, you know, Tennessee Titans is getting, you know, the older hot free agent name that we should get. How about just draft and develop? If I spend money in free agency, Kayvon Thibodeau, Adafi Owe, Nashawn Wright, Tariq Woolen, I take some guys like that in free agents if you want to burn some bread. Kyle Pitts, Isaiah Likely, maybe Breece Hall, you know what I'm saying? Like, at receiver, if I was gonna spend money, it'd be Alec Pierce or Romeo Dobbs. For what Cam would need, a 6'2" dunker or a 6'3" vertical dunker. Like, but then again, we're a bad team, so I don't want to wind up paying one of those guys $25 million a year, or wind up reaching so bad, like trading a 3rd round pick to give L'Jarius Sneed $80 million so he can be allegedly part of a drive-by shooting. I hope that he's innocent though. You know, it's like, and somebody's just bullshitting and he gets healthy and plays, but because they're not going to really save money by cutting him. You know, if you wait, you can cut him. You get like free up $8 million, but then, you know, you got to replace a starting caliber corner in this market. You're probably going to wind up spending $15 to $20 million. So it's like, put his $8 million on top of the 15 or 20 you pay as replacement. It's a lot of bread, you know. Titans got to really be thinking about supplemental free agent. Take your shot at the couple guys that you really would like that could alter the trajectory of your team. And reason why I say Deshaun Wright is because dude's 6'4", aggressive style corner. They got Stevenson, they got Jalen, they got a lot of DBs that they paying. He said we already know his wide receiver graveyard anyways. Why not take a chance in the draft? I mean, Dre Day. That's why I said give me Chris Boswell and Zachariah Branch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and put them with Aomon, DK, and Restrepo, and take your pick. Do you bring back Van Jefferson or Bryce Oliver to play special teams and be the 6th receiver? Go that route. That route sounds a whole lot better to me, Dre Day. Like you said, right now we got to pay the bad team tax. Unfortunately, just have to make sure it's in. So if the Titans spent money on the edge like Kayvon Thibodeau or Odafe Oweh or Jalen Phillips, I wouldn't be mad at that because you're gonna get some production at some point. Like we spent $10 million on Draymond Jones. Draymond Jones was worth the $10 million. You know, he hit his threshold where like he went like a month straight getting a sack every game, and then he continued that when he got to Baltimore. If they would have made that field goal, we would have got a extra fourth round pick this upcoming draft. You know, so like when you spend money on Jahad Ward, which was nothing, and he's productive, like the Titans got to spend money like that. Xavier Woods was the only DB that got a pick this year. Sebastian Joseph Day, Corey Levin. You know, you get when you get free agent guys like that, you know, that are productive. Darrell Baker Jr., even though he got dunked on, was still out after Sneed went down and they traded Jarvis and Rodgers. You know, Marcus Harris to me was the best corner we had, but Darrell Baker Jr. was consistent all year as a guy that you didn't expect much from a group. Amar Davis disappointed. Samuel Womack disappointed. Khair Elam I don't think was out there long enough to show us anything. You know, he didn't do nothing special when he was out there. I mean, Kamon Hall, Hallett, Sanusi Kane, bro, you just go down the line, all the 50 DBs we played. Like, you know, you gotta get guys that can come in and contribute and play their roles. Luke Stalker took over the run game coordinator after Callie got fired. I don't think Callie had the same success and abandoned the run game too quick. Because, you know, Bill Callahan was the run game coordinator and the offensive line coach. And then after the bye week, you right, because I remember being in the press conferences and then asking who was going to take over the run game coordination. And they were saying it was going to be by committee. But I did hear what you said about Luke Stalker stepping up and helping in the run game. And the run game looked like it did after the bye week. Starting with the Browns game. And he helped Gunnar Helm get better all around. All right, man, that's almost 90 minutes in the shop talk. Man, everybody on Facebook, make sure y'all like, comment, tap into the daily content. If you on Twitch, if you got Amazon Prime, you can sub to the channel free once a month. And you got picture in picture. If you're on YouTube, every morning at 7 or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, the condensed version of these shop talks go up, as well as the mailbag once a week. Drop the Becker hopped in and did his take on the Cardinals pickle of a situation that they in on top of the last shop talk. So this one will go up in the morning. We got YouTube. We almost partnered on YouTube. Just a little bit more watch hours. You got picture in picture, like, comment. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments on the YouTube. I will make a whole secondary video or short about your questions in the mailbag. And then if you're watching on Kick, no ads, picture in picture, up to 50 emotes free just by following the channel. You do not have to be a sub to use the emotes. For the late night streams there on Kick and Twitch, where we watch tape, play games, do all kind of stuff. I'm gonna be continuing with the vertical streams. I might do gaming vertical on all platforms. I think I like the way the vertical look. I think it gives it a different feel. It's a little bit different than the normal gaming streams that we kind of was built and based off of. But we've been dibbling and dabbling, in just doing different content for the last probably 18 to 24 months, especially with the Dissolve and Facebook gaming. Y'all want to grab some merch, exclamation point merch on Facebook, or click on the links in the other 3 platforms. Code Buddha at checkout if you want to grab a trucker hat, a hoodie, or a t-shirt. You can grab them from off of there. He said what happened, we went in a different direction. Supposed to be the OC that move up after Arthur Smith. He's been around for a while. They say that Luke Stocker may be a head coach in the future, but I'm about to take a short recess. Then I'll be back. And we probably hop on Apex. I had some fun playing Apex last night. We probably do that on the late night. But appreciate y'all, man. God first in the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. I appreciate anybody that alert, anybody that comment, anybody that share, anybody that disagree with everything I say, that agree with indifferent. I appreciate everybody that engaged the content, and just know we going up, man. Robert Saleh, Tennessee Titans, about to get this DC and OC search out the way. Hopefully, Daboll get pushed off the Bills and be the OC in Nashville for the next couple of years, and maybe Al Harris get that DC job, or the guy from the Texans. But get them DBs right, man. I'm tired of getting dunked on 2nd and 33, or third and 17. Nico Collins dunking for his life. Mike McCarthy, new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, was the topic today. And like I said, man, God first in the chat. And we out. We be on the late night streams on Kick.